a sure sign my instincts were right. Nesta spared a glance at me, then raised her hand in a signal. Within seconds, the guards were moving. They made no sound as they ran across the forest bed towards the trees closest. One by one, they crawled like cats up the rough bark before them until they were concealed in the heavy, thick foliage above. I raised my hand and sent a volley of air across the forest bed. My action moved the leaves in a swirl until all footprints were covered beneath a fresh layer of debris. They left Nyah and me alone in the clearing of the forest, just as we'd planned, although I had hoped this wouldn't have been necessary. Since arriving in Candolin, the Druid's threat loomed over us. Every day there was a possibility he would attack. The rush of my blood told me this was what was coming for us. "How many?" Nyah asked, already crouched with a hand on her sword. She, like Nesta and the guards, was dressed in the silvers and whites, her wild red hair pinned from her face. The days in Candolin had changed her appearance. The excess activity every day had carved out her cheekbones and pointed her jaw. I couldn't tell. Something didn't feel right when... Nyah raised a hand, silencing me. She closed her eyes, her ginger brows knotted. I'd seen this face of concentration back on the island when she located Galleon and Hadrian during the Druid's ambush. "I don't feel anyone's emotion, but something is definitely not right." Nyah kept her eyes closed as she relayed what she felt. "He is relying on us to find it." My mind passed to Hadrian, as it did every day during our expeditions. "I know he is, and I want nothing more than to see Hadrian back to his normal, sarcastic self. But the moment I feel like you're in danger, we are getting out of here, plant or no plant," she said firmly. I looked back to one of the bodies closest to me. A cold sensation passed up my arms and down my legs, making me heavy beneath the dead's wide stare. "You're taking this protector task serious." Before I could finish, figures dressed in black shadow burst through the tree line. Without a sound, they ran forward. Nyah sprang into action. Their sudden screams lit the clearing, breaking its silence. A flock of birds burst from their tree in fear. Nyah's lip curled, and a powerful growl seeped between her clenched jaw. My eyes moved quickly to catch up with the blurring bodies. I fumbled for my sword, pulling it free at the last moment as the attackers flew across the space and greeted us. A light whish sounded above us. Arrows tipped with white feathers rained down from the trees, lightning fast. They sped towards the attackers. They didn't miss. A handful of the attackers stopped as wood and metal impaled their bodies. The impaled looked at the arrows piercing their shadowed bodies, and the screams that followed sent my blood alight. The hidden guards shot another volley of arrows from behind them. The arrows hit their mark. For a moment, the attackers halted before picking up their speed again, unfazed. Only one went down and didn't get back up. An arrow pierced from the back of her head through the front of her lifeless face. Nesta flipped out of the foliage of a pine tree. Mid-spin, she released an arrow, which lodged itself into the neck of one of the attackers just before it reached me. "Raise your sword!" Nesta screamed, turning quickly as another shadowed figure thrust a rusted blade at her. It missed her by inches. She spun and pulled a dagger free from her belt, slicing it across her attacker's arm. Paralyzed with fear, I relied on those around me to keep the attackers at bay, trying to get a glance at them while they clawed and screeched at the group. For days, I had fantasized about fighting. I had trained enough for it. But now, in the face of these strange creatures, I was as frozen as the dead that watched from their trees. Nyah screamed. As if her cry was cold water, I was thrust out of my state of fear. I threw my hands out. A slash of wind raced towards those surrounding her. My magic ripped them from the ground and smashed them into the surrounding pines, raining pine needles down around them. In every direction, swords sliced into flesh,